educational purposes only. The content is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases, nor is it intended to take the place of your primary care physician. The statements in this program have not been evaluated by the FDA. Testimonials are shared as individual experiences of the individual. Results vary and may not be typical. We do not make any claims regarding health or income. As an empowered individual, you have options available. We are honored to have a founding father of the science of epigenetics guiding us with the best options to obtain or maintain optimal health, Dr. Joel Wallach. All right, let's go ahead and open up the doors to Daily with Doc. This program is being sponsored by dailywithdoc.com, and my name is Becca Dukes. If you would like to join us live on our Zooms, you are welcome to do so by going to dailywithdoczoom.com. Just put that in your URL address bar, and it should bring you right to our meeting. Our meeting times are Wednesday, Thursday, Friday from 12 to 1 p.m. Pacific time. Again, that's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday from 12 to 1 Pacific time. And we will be having shows also on Tuesdays. So currently we're on the second and third Tuesday of the month at the same time, same place, dailywithdoczoom.com. Now, our replays you can find on so many different platforms. We are on YouTube, Rumble, Patreon, Brighteon, Twitter, X, Instagram, some that I had forgotten that I should not be forgetting, but we are everywhere, including Amazon Music, Roku TV, Amazon TV, or Apple TV, all the different locations, and Spotify. So let us know where you're joining us from. You can either do a comment or then let us know. I'm still trying to figure out how we can reply to some of those platforms on the comments, or send us an email. Just say, let us know where you're at info@dailywithdoc.com. That's info@dailywithdoc.com. So this program is being brought to you again by dailywithdoc.com, and we are an independent group of individuals who have found the value in the message that you're going to be hearing about today. Not only have we found the value, but for many of us, it was solutions to our own health issues that no one else was able to figure out. In fact, pushing us off just to managing the pain or managing the symptom through chemical interactions that are commonly offered in the allopathic medicine world of prescriptions, or pushing you off to pain management and saying it's genetic, there's nothing you can do, you're just going to have to live with this. Well, I didn't accept it, and many of us didn't accept it either. And that's when we heard the message that you're going to be sharing or hearing today. And that is why I want to share it from the rooftops, because I was able to overcome so many different things that were said to be genetic or I just have to live with. So folks, if somebody shared this program with you, please make sure that you get back with them and thank them for taking the time to share this program with you. And if you hear something that triggers or brings another name to mind for you that might be able to benefit from this information and this message as well, please make sure you share it with them. Because we are in a world where the decline in health is rapidly growing. Now, when you have decline, it usually goes down. Yeah, health is going down. But the numbers of occurrences and the cost to manage are drastically going up. And that is something that does not have to be. So with this program, It is for educational purposes only. It's not meant to take the place of your primary care physician, nor are the products mentioned meant to treat, diagnose, or cure any diseases. But folks, when you take a look at pubmed.gov, look at all of the research and the papers that have been published on the benefits of different individual supplements. And then you do another search on that supplement and the benefits of the cofactors and how they just synergistically make those nutrients work better. The evidence is unreal and cannot be refuted. So what Dr. Wallach has done with his team has they've put together what he found to be the 90 essential nutrients that were essential, meaning our body can't make them. We have to take them in from somewhere else, but essential for being able to not just survive in this life, but actually thrive and live to what he has found to be 120, like they say in the Bible. So without further ado, it is my great honor and privilege to bring to you a gentleman who has a Bachelor of Science in plants and soil sciences. He has a doctorate of veterinary medicine. He has 3 postdoctorates in pathology. Now, to get a postdoctorate in pathology, you have to work a very intensive, large study that does the deep pathology, complete pathology of numerous. And Dr. Wallach has almost 30,000, I think, autopsies, whether he was instrumental in the autopsy himself or doing the review of the autopsy on over 452 different species. So I think he has a little bit of credibility. And to prove that, he is the author of a book that is held as a national treasure in the Smithsonian Museum called Diseases of Exotic Animals, Medical and Surgical Management. Now, this was published, I think, in 1984, which seems to be a long time ago. But this gentleman has continued to go above and beyond with additional researches that are not even included in the book for the sake of humanity. He's on a crusade to save the world, humanity, and the animals, and the earth. And you and I are a great part of being able to make that happen. So without further ado, I would like to welcome to the screen with me Dr. Joel Wallach. Dr. Wallach, welcome to Daily with Doc.
Well, thank you for all the kind words and the information you shared with our viewers and listeners. Thank you, team. I know we have a great team. You just think about it. Even God has a team. Think of all the people who worked with the Bible and worked with projects to make sure that God's will be done. Now you think God could make everything, well, you have millions of people. Even God knew he had to build an army. And so it's a great, great, great principle. And I do have to say that I learned many things doing all those autopsies. That was just in animals. Okay. Now in humans, it did another 30,000 in humans. And in China alone, it did 1,700 kids under the age of 10. I did those myself. Okay. Dr. Milan set that up. Okay. Keyshawn disease, which in human medicine in America is called cystic fibrosis. So I was very familiar with it. And when you look at it, whether they're Chinese kids or American kids or kids from Spain or England or Europe, it's all the same when you get down to the microscope, okay, and the tissues and so forth.
Excuse me for interrupting there, Dr. Wallach. So Keyshawn disease had to do with the heart and like sudden infant crib death. Cystic fibrosis is more associated with lungs. So share with me how are they related there?
Okay, well, cystic fibrosis deals with the lungs, the heart, the liver, okay, muscles, the
Mhm.
connective tissue, the digestive system. So it's not just one area or one tissue block. It's quite broad-based, and it was very obvious when you look at it under the microscope, whether the slides from, in fact, I found the first non-human case of cystic fibrosis. I was working at Yerkes Primate Center after a 10-year, one of those great studies, 10-year studies, $12 million from the National Institutes of Health, okay, at Washington University. And there were 30,000 autopsies there. And the thing that I learned was that all of the symptoms of a particular nutritional deficiency occur the same in humans and pigeons and rats and rabbits and dogs and cats and sheep and pigs and horses and cattle and so forth. And that's how I was able then to, see this in these monkeys. And so I sent slides to the expert pathologist in cystic fibrosis. I just said, I think this is cystic fibrosis. I just sent him the slides. I didn't tell him it's from the monkeys. I just said, I think this is cystic fibrosis. What do you think? And they sent me back on their letterhead a note saying these two cases are classic cases of cystic fibrosis. And, they were from big universities. And so then I told them it was from monkey tissues at Yerkes Primate Center. Okay. And it was the monkeys they're training for space and all that kind of stuff. And they're missing these nutrients. Okay. And I said, I think that cystic fibrosis is not a genetic thing like everybody thinks. It's probably a nutritional deficiency in the mother causing it. And they fired me. Okay. They kicked me out of the Yerkes Primate Center and fired me, put a bad name on me, so I couldn't get a job anyplace else. Okay. And so that's why I decided to go back to school and become a naturopathic doctor. Okay. Because I had kids to take care of and so forth. And so it's one of those things where, the good Lord works in mysterious ways. And so I'm sure all the things that happened along the path here to get us where we are now were basically the map laid out by the good Lord. And so that's why I'm so passionate about making sure that all the things that need to be done to answer the questions that are appropriate for what's going on get done. And it has wound up producing 23 best-selling books and a flip chart. Dr. Milan and Rebecca and myself, the three of us are working on the next one, which is like 90% done. It's supposed to be in the covers and out available for sale, but by the end of this month. So we're very excited about that. Okay. And so let's keep going here, Becca.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Wallach. So today, let's talk a little bit about, and you mentioned them, but let's talk about birth defects. Okay, so whenever you're looking at humans or animals, you've got a seed. That seed gets fertilized and then it blooms. But you have to have the nutrition in order for mama and baby or babies to thrive. And if you don't have that, Dr. Wallach, there are some birth defects that occur, like and some of them are said to be genetic, like the cystic fibrosis. But let's take a look at like cerebral palsy or
Muscular
uh,
dystrophy.
muscular dystrophy. Absolutely. And then there's spinal bifida, which is a little different.
It's
But
different.
so let's talk about those, if you would, Dr. Wallach, and share a little bit about one, what can we do as a society to help reduce the occurrence?
Okay, this is very, very simple. 99.9% of all birth defects, okay, are caused by nutritional deficiencies. Some are just overt nutritional deficiencies. Some are interference with absorption. Some are caused by an overbalance of certain nutrients that squeeze out the ones that are missing. They're not missing. They're just squeezed out by too much of something else. And so, in the animal industry, we don't have health insurance. So we learned that we had to prevent and cure diseases with nutrition. And that's when I was 9 years old, I figured it out because they were going to put me in a one of these institutions because I was violent. I was very dangerous because I was strong, throwing bales of hay. And if an adult man would say something to me or look at me funny, I just give him an overhand right, knock him down, and start kicking him and all that kind of stuff. And so they were going to put me in an institution because I was fighting 3 or 4 times a day at 9 years old. And so my mom and dad are packing. It's like Thursday and Friday, and they're supposed to take me there on Monday. And so I'm sitting down and I'm watching all these animals eating all of these pellets with vitamins and minerals added to the alfalfa and so forth. I said, well, they don't have any of our problems. So I began that day, it was Friday, began to eat instead of oatmeal. I ate those pellets with milk for breakfast on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. And by Monday, all my behavioral problems were gone because I was getting the nutrition that I wasn't getting in oatmeal. Okay, for several reasons. One, oatmeal has gluten in it. It destroys the lining of the intestines, so it really significantly reduces the ability to absorb nutrition, and then also causes the villi actually to go away, the finger-like villi in the intestine to go away. And
But
if
in
you
oatmeal, it's
go
not
ahead,
called gluten, is that correct?
I'm sorry.
In oatmeal, that protein is not called gluten. What is it called? Is it gliadin for oatmeal? Because you say there's no such thing as gluten-free oats.
It's correct. No such thing
But
as
it's
gluten-free oats. It has gluten in
okay,
it.
so gluten is a protein, correct?
It's correct.
And the protein in oatmeal is it adenine of, or is it gliadin or something? Something like that.
Yeah, it's
But
gluten.
well, they say that oats don't have gluten, doc. So I want to make that perfectly clear that folks, it's a protein and there's a protein that's in oatmeal that the body cannot digest. It reacts within the body just like gluten does.
Well, and you have to appreciate the medical system says that almost all birth defects are caused by the mother and the father, or the father alone or the mother alone having a bad gene. They're genetic diseases.
Which is what they say about cystic fibrosis. They
That
have
is
to have
correct.
that gene from both sides.
And it's actually due to a deficiency of a single mineral. We're not going to go into that because I want you to take all the minerals. That way you won't avoid cystic fibrosis and get something else. Okay. Well, it didn't work. I still had a birth defect. Well, that's because you only took one nutrient. No, you got to take all 90. That's why we have the 90 for Life program. And that's the title of our flip chart. Okay. 90 for Life Crusade to save humanity and the world.
Yep.
And it says, this is not a difficult concept. We also got rid of muscular dystrophy. Jerry's kids. Okay, some of these people are so young now, they never heard of Jerry Lewis muscular dystrophy because we got rid of it so many years ago. Okay, and then, of course, SID, son of death syndrome. Oh, that was terrible. Mama would have a perfect baby. And, the 2-month age, the 6 months age, they go to pick the baby up out of the crib in the morning, the baby's dead.
Mm.
They're having hundreds of crib deaths every week in America. Okay. And it turns out it was just a simple nutritional deficiency of a single nutrient in the formula. So my attorney, Jonathan E. Morton, and I, we sued the FDA 8 times in federal court to get these nutrients put into the baby formulas because the formula manufacturers and the doctors didn't want anything put into the baby formulas. No, you'll mess things up. Yeah, right, we'll mess up their cash flow. Okay, is what they were thinking. Because so anyway, we won all 8 times. We got the nutrients put into the baby formulas. within weeks, we ended cystic fibrosis, which had been the most terrible birth defect in human beings. We also got rid of muscular dystrophy. We also got rid of son of death syndrome, where the babies were dying of a heart attack and at the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth month, or maybe a year old in the crib. And they said, well, the mothers were sleeping on the babies and suffocating. Well, how did the mother get up in the crib and suffocate the babies? What a stupid thing. But that's what the medical system was doing. So the medical system misses the birth defect issue by saying, well, it's genetic. We just have to deal with it. Now we've got it, and we have to, give you birth control pills and, take out your girly stuff so that you don't have any more babies, and that way we won't have any more birth defects. No, that's nonsense, because birth defects, there's no genetic birth defects.
All right. Well, Dr. Wallach, let's talk about cystic fibrosis specifically now. We've got Ron out on YouTube that has written in, and he has a brother who has cystic fibrosis. His brother is 61 years old, 230 pounds. He's on medications for seizures and anxiety disorders. He has bursts of anger. In addition to the cerebral palsy, he has a leg that's 2.5 inches shorter than the other. And I mean, things are being controlled by pharmaceuticals, but I mean, there's one pharmaceutical for his anger that forces him to sleep a lot. So is there anything nutritionally that can be done to help Ron's brother?
Of course, he's getting rid of all the bad foods. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, bran, rye, and oats, no buckwheat, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. The diet one's got to go. And then do we know how much his brother weighs, or are you just going to go by 100 pounds?
Yeah, he's 230 pounds.
Okay, then he needs 2 healthy brain and heart packs a month, full dosing twice a day. He also needs our I-26. I want him to have 3 of the chewables. I personally like the French vanilla, but it also comes in banana coconut, which is very popular. Okay, take 3 twice a day, or three times a day. And they're not crunchy. They're very soft chewies. Even babies 3 months old with no teeth can chew them. Okay. And then he needs the, let's see here. I would also throw in the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets. Take 3 of those twice a day. That's going to increase the blood flow into the brain and the heart and the kidneys, the liver, all kinds of stuff. And again, the glucogel to rebuild cartilage, ligaments, tendons, and so forth. And it wouldn't hurt to throw in the digestive enzymes. You could go ahead and take 2 or 3 of those, say 10 minutes, 15 minutes before meals. So the enzymes are waiting for the food to come. Okay. And we see many types of birth defects symptomatically get significantly better. Some of them just go away. Okay, just like cystic fibrosis, it went away. Just like muscular dystrophy, it went away. We had people who have diabetes for 25 years. I mean, they're brittle diabetics. I mean, type 2 diabetes. We get them on the program for type 2 diabetes with the nutrients, the healthy brain and heart pack, and the sweeties, get rid of all the bad stuff. And 2 to 6 weeks, they're not a diabetic anymore after 25 years of being a brittle diabetic.
But what about the anger? Does that have to do with the blood sugar issues?
Yeah. Okay.
Could
Now,
be.
if you have a blood sugar issue, okay, you have diabetes, you have a blood sugar issue, you have abdominal obesity, you have high blood pressure, or things going on with the kidneys, you got what?
Metabolic syndrome.
Metabolic syndrome, which is very easily gotten rid of. Get rid of all the bad foods. You take the 90 essential nutrients. Okay, you take whatever nutrients are necessary based on what issues you have, and in weeks it'll go away. And these are birth defects said to be genetic by the medical system. Why? If it's genetic, that means there's nothing to do about it. You just have to keep coming to them to refill a prescription every month. then they can send their kids to college.
Okay, so with cerebral palsy, Dr. Wallach, that affects the person's ability for movement, maintaining balance. This individual is also experiencing seizures. So is there anything else that you would add to help with those certain symptoms? Because we
Yeah.
look at symptoms rather than medical titles, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Alzheimer's disease, Parkinson's disease, multiple sclerosis, amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, ALS, Huntington's chorea, frontotemporal dementia, Charcot-Marie tooth disease, Bell's palsy, cervical spondylosis, carpal tunnel syndrome, brain or spinal cord tumors, neuropathies. Let's see here. Chronic inflammatory demyelinating polyneuropathy, anti-MAG, peripheral neuropathies, hereditary neuropathies, pressure palsy, myelopathies, MS, multiple sclerosis. These things are all caused by nutritional deficiency of the white matter and the brain and spinal cord. It depends on where the worst damage is, what disease you get diagnosed with. And we're trying to get published a big story we did, okay, with the gal. It's on page 27 of this flip chart, okay, and it goes along with MS, multiple sclerosis, but the disease, okay, disease is called Parkinson's disease. Now, up until this last year, the rate of new cases each year of Parkinson's disease, which is very, 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 very common, there was 60,000 new cases a year. 60,000 new cases a year.
That's a
You think
lot.
somebody would figure out a cure, okay? And then this year it's 90,000. It went up 50% because doctors are writing prescriptions for the things that prevented the disease. They're writing prescriptions to prevent the use of those nutrients that prevented the disease, okay? And so this gal here, okay, let's see here. Get
So
her.
this gentleman, so Dr. Wallach,
Mhm.
with having all of these things going on and having movement, trouble with movement, and there is hope that the body may not completely reverse everything,
Okay, well,
but we can
let me add
manage.
two more sentences here to my answer to the question,
Okay.
multiple sclerosis. Okay, now remember, this is Parkinson's disease, which is kind of a
Well,
cousin. This is a cousin of multiple sclerosis.
how about to cerebral palsy though?
Oh,
Is it
cerebral
a cousin
palsy.
palsy? Because cerebral palsy is the condition that Ron's brother is looking is been dealing with for many, many years at
Oh,
61.
okay, when was he diagnosed? At birth or when he was 60 years old?
Ron, if you could put that in the chat real quick, please. I will get that answer for you, Dr. Wallach. But it sounds like he was diagnosed quite a while ago based on the information that I've gotten from Ron
Yeah, quite a while
already.
ago. We're talking 45 years of age, 30 years of age.
I'm getting that information. But
Okay,
still,
okay, well, wait, stop. While we're getting that information, I want to go to Parkinson's disease, okay, which is very, very similar to MS, multiple sclerosis, very similar. Okay, after 11 years, okay, Madeline O, last name begins with an O. We don't want to give her a whole name because then her house would be invaded by thousands of people wanting answers the next day, okay? So Madeline O, after 11 years of going to her group of medical doctors at the university, okay, very well-respected neurologist, diagnosed her 11 years earlier with Parkinson's disease. She comes in 2, 3 times a year for examinations and medication, slowly getting worse. They're saying, well, you're getting close to the bottom line here and you may not make another year or so. And so one of her friends got her going on our program, okay, of the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack, Healthy Brain and Heart Pack. And we threw in the I-26 to rebuild the myelin, the white matter of the brain and spinal cord. To make a long story short, in 90 days, She went in for her regular annual physical at the 11th year, and the doctor says, "Oh, all your tests are negative here. But something wrong here. Come back tomorrow. We'll rerun them." We ran them the next day, perfectly normal. He said, "We don't know why, but you don't have Parkinson's disease anymore after 11 and a half years being re-examined and diagnosed 2 to 3 times a year for 11 and a half years by all these wonderful medical doctors, neurologists at the university, medical schools. And suddenly now it's gone." Well, that's because she was taking, that she was taking our Healthy Brain and Heart Pack and taking our I-26. And just 2.5 months after 11 and a half years, it was gone. Okay. And
It's
so this,
amazing what the body can do, Dr. Wallach.
that's right. And so
So
this is on page 27 of the flip chart. The right-hand side of the page is her writings as well as some of the doctors, which is in yellow. And then on the left-hand side of the page are again some of her writings, doctor's writings.
or a case report. Absolutely. So your report on this specific case, official.
Yeah, and we're working right now to get it published in some sort of medical journal.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. All right. So Ron's brother Russell, he was actually diagnosed at 3 days old with cerebral palsy, had a brain hemorrhage. So that was like 59 years ago, Dr. Wallach, or sorry, 62 years ago.
Okay. And so anything we recommend for them is not going to hurt them. And
Okay.
so it's worth giving it a try because it might help. Okay. In cerebral palsy, you can get permanent damage. Okay. It's like a shot to the head. It was hemorrhaging and all that kind of stuff. At 3.5 weeks of age or 3.5 days or whatever it was.
3 days.
Yeah,
3
3 days. Okay. And so there was actually some major problems during the development of that baby. Okay. Mama was missing stuff. Was she eating gluten with every meal? Was she taking vitamins and minerals? Was she eating eggs, which is good for the brain, which are good for your brain? You need the cholesterol. Was the doctor writing the mother prescriptions to lower the cholesterol in her blood? You do not, if you're a woman who's wanting to have normal babies, you do not want to be taking anti-cholesterol drugs. Okay, because you're going to get a problem.
Yeah, and I know for many, especially in that time period, they didn't want to gain a whole bunch of weight during pregnancy. So they weren't eating a lot. That would contribute to
Well, maybe it
something
was
like
oats.
this.
It was oats they were eating instead of wheat.
You never know. But for the seizures, Dr. Wallach, I know in the past you've recommended Synaptive. Would that be something that you would recommend in this case as well?
Yeah. Yeah, anything you can do to help the brain cells talk to each other, rebuild the white matter of the brain and the spinal cord and the major nerves. Okay, so in addition to the 90 essential nutrients, the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack, the, let's see here, the I-26, they also need the
Ultimate Daily Classic.
Ultimate Daily Classic. Yeah, okay, Ultimate Daily Classic. Okay, and then, they need all 90 essential nutrients. Okay, I-26, I-26.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And Dr. Wallach, I'd like to add in with that helps with brain function, and it's really good for people that have that emotional fluctuations. The Renew IQ is really good for helping with clarity of thinking and being able to control. But I know that hormonal imbalances can also be a source of um,
Yeah, well, because hormones are made from cholesterol.
mhm.
And if you're taking anti-cholesterol medication, you're going to have trouble with a cholesterol deficiency, the brain issues and so forth.
All right. And Ron did say that their mama, she was active, but didn't know about the prenatal supplements at the time. So Ron, hopefully we gave you some information to help. I know you had mentioned that you had gotten the Soul and the Smart, two of my favorite hydration drinks. Mix in some of the plain plant-derived minerals and smart, you get brain clarity with minerals. Soul, you get a mood booster with minerals. And today, electro fuel for that extra amount of energy without all the calories or sugar, with a splash of plant-derived minerals as well. So I absolutely love the hydration drinks, Dr. Wallach, because dehydration is another big thing that is prevalent around the world, especially for people that are um, like on dialysis because of what is said to be a genetic kidney disease.
No
So are
such,
there genetic kidney diseases?
there are kidney diseases, but there's no such thing as a genetic kidney disease.
So that all has to do with what you put in your mouth and around your environment?
Yes. And in your blood if you're an embryo. Okay, you're going to be born with normal kidneys and you want to keep your kidneys normal. You
Mm-hmm.
have to take all 90 essential nutrients. And if mama's breastfeeding the babies, you got to make sure she's getting plenty of cholesterol, got to eat the eggs. Well, my doctor says no eggs because it's got cholesterol. Well, that's what you want. You want the cholesterol. You don't want to fry your eggs, but you want to have soft scrambled in butter, or you want to have soft poached and so forth. And so otherwise, you're going to be, doing yourself a disservice. That's why Jonathan Nemord and I, we sued the FDA 8 times in federal court. We prevailed every time, get those nutrients put into baby formulas because the doctors were not in any interest of putting any vitamins and minerals into baby formulas. No way, forget it. Okay, we haven't used any vitamins and minerals in baby formulas for 1,000 years. Why should we start now? Well, that's because we're not using wood ashes and coal ashes in our food anymore and in our gardens, and so we're missing all those nutrients.
Right. Well, Dr. Wallach, we have another one that's said to be a rare genetic disorder. And Tim is writing in with concern to his daughter, who is 42 years old, 41 or 42 years old. And then her two sons, his grandsons, who are 21 and 16. So she's 6 foot tall, 160 pounds. And then the kids are having some of the same symptoms, and I'm going to mention them here.
Okay, wait a minute. All 3 kids, the 2 boys and the daughter, are all got the same symptoms?
Yep. So the daughter, who is the mother of the two boys, okay, um, they have what the medical establishment is calling Fabry disease, a genetic disorder that affects how your body breaks down certain fats.
Mhm.
And it says that the alpha GAL normally breaks down a fatty substance called, oh my goodness,
I never heard of this
globo
one.
triacetamide. Um, and when it's not working right, the fat builds up in your cells. It is inherited, most commonly through the X chromosome. Symptoms include burning pain in the hands and feet, cloudy vision, fatigue, heart problems, kidney problems. They they vary depending on severity of the disease.
Okay, stop there
Males
for a
are
minute. Wait a minute,
typically
stop there for a minute. How old are these 2 boys?
21 and 16.
Okay, so they're not babies anymore.
Nope, they're not babies anymore.
And did the symptoms show up at birth? Did they show up when they were 6 years old or what?
That is a great question. I don't have the answer to. AJ, do you have that answer? Or is Tim on the call with us today? I don't see that Tim is on, by name anyways. So oh, Tim is on YouTube. So Tim, if you can put up an answer to that, that would be fantastic. But going on as we're waiting for that answer, Dr. Wallach, males are typically more severely affected than females. Where females can also have the disease. With this rare condition, it's estimated to occur in about 1 in 40,000 males. There's no cure. And in women, I believe it was 1 in 110,000. They say that there's no cure. They can only manage the symptoms. And slow the progression of the disease with enzyme replacement therapy.
Okay.
So
Okay. Well, here we go. Until we get this more information, one's 14 years old and the other one's 20 something, right?
16, he's 5'8", 160 pounds. The other is 21, who is 6 foot tall, 180 pounds.
Okay.
Mama is 6
They
and
both need
100.
to get rid. They both need to get rid of all the bad foods. The whole
I
family.
think all three of them do.
Okay, the whole family, everybody in the household, including the dog, has to get rid of all the bad foods. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, rye, oats, no buckwheat, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. Even the diet one's got to go. And then they all need 2 healthy brain and heart packs a month, the full dose, everything twice a day. They also need the synaptive. Okay, they can have 2 of those twice a day, the synaptive. They can also have the, let's see here, the I-26, 2 or 3 of those soft chewables. I like the French vanilla, but they also have the banana coconut. And then we have the capsules and the powder if they prefer that route, for the, to get the stuff, to rebuild the
Good.
milestones in the brain. Yeah.
Yep.
And so it's one of those things where, just taking pain relievers and sleeping pills and stuff like that is just treating symptoms. They're not really getting down to the basic root cause of the problem. And because there's something maybe they were born with, maybe
No,
they're
they were not.
they were
So
not.
the boys' symptoms have only started occurring in the past few years,
Mhm.
not at
Okay.
birth.
Okay. So these are not birth defects. These are not genetically transmitted. These are acquired nutritional deficiencies. And so they should see some really remarkable benefit, okay, with these nutrients being taken, and see if they have diabetes. Okay, do they have metabolic syndrome? And they really need the 90 essential nutrients really badly. Okay. And so there's a whole story with that. Where you and I are working on that book of the metabolic syndrome. And, we're shooting for getting it out by the end of this month. That's very exciting. It's going to save these types of kids. That's why this book needs to get out, because it deals with dozens and dozens of diseases, but there's 3 or 4 you have to fit into that category. Okay, belly obesity, central obesity, gut, obesity in your belly. Okay, and then diabetes and type 2 diabetes, and also hypertension, high blood pressure. And then there's all kinds of other stuff that goes along with it. There's liver problems, there's thyroid problems, there is many kidney issues and so forth. All those things we can get rid of in weeks with supplement programs. But doctors say, oh, there's this genetic. No, 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 no. I guess if we could go to court and get a law that says that any doctor who diagnoses something to be genetic should go to jail for life, there'd never be another genetic disease.
But that's probably true. So with this condition, Dr. Wallach, it has to do with not having an enzyme to be able to break down certain things. So we have the ultimate enzymes. We've got microbiome, which helps with the digestive flora that includes enzymes. There's nightly essence.
It's fine, but they need the other stuff. They need the 90 essential nutrients.
Absolutely. But I'm just thinking if it's an issue with not having an enzyme that breaks down a certain, like the fats, then it would need to have a supplementation of enzymes to help with that, correct?
At least in the beginning, but then they need the raw materials for the body to make those enzymes.
And that's where the 90
You need
essential.
to come at it from 2 different directions. You can't just, oh, we're going to give them the enzymes. That doesn't solve the problem.
I wasn't referring to just doing that because that's fractionated nutrition, and I did that for years and it does not work. You got to have the foundation and then what you call secret sauce.
There you go. And that's why we started calling it the secret sauce, because people say, yeah, remember that guy you talked about a couple of years ago? Yeah, well, he died this morning. What? So I called the family. What happened? Well, he didn't do everything he said. And, he got worse and worse and worse. And the doctors gave medicine, and he died. Okay, well, that's because you have to give the body the raw materials, okay, to make all the things that it needs, okay? And so there's no diet anywhere that will give you everything you need. There are diets in some places that give you many things you need, okay? And you look at the Hunzas, their life expectancy is 120. Our life expectancy is 74, 77, depending on whose numbers you're looking at. We rank 47th in the world when it comes to longevity. There's 46 other countries whose peoples live longer than we do. And the Hunzas, who live to be 120, they don't have a single medical doctor. They don't have any hospitals or clinics. All they got is a bunch of herbalists running around passing out herbs.
Which herbs have value. I mean, God put them on this earth for us to use as medicine. But as you found in your studies, if the minerals are not in the soil that even the herbs are grown in, they're not going to be in the herbs. And when it comes to minerals, and there being over 600 different conditions, poor health symptoms associated with mineral and nutrient deficiency, I mean, you've got to look at what's most important, the herb itself or the vitamins and the minerals that are causing the deficiencies that are leading to poor health symptoms.
Yeah, well, that's why we have 2,000 different dietary programs, because we deal with 600 different diseases. Many of these diseases, you need, like, to begin with, at any rate, 6 or 8 different things. Okay. And some of those things, like the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack has got 210 nutrients in it. Okay. You'd have to eat 40 different plants and you'd have to test them to see what's in them because a plant only needs 3 minerals. We need 60. Okay. So it's not complicated once you know what's going on, but you have to assume your food has nothing in it. You take everything you need as a supplement, and then what you get from the food is kind of like the cherry on the cake. Okay, it's a positive.
Well, another thing, the more active you are, folks, the more you need the nutrition, especially if you're sweating. And AJ had brought up the rebound. I mean, there's a lot of nutrition in that rebound that helps to support many of the poor health symptoms that actually come with overworking your body.
Yeah, I take 2 doses of Rebound a day. I like the liquid, the powder, and make a liquid out of the powder. But it
Yep.
also comes, I think, in sticks. I think there's 30 of those sticks in a box. Cut the top.
Yes. They're like this. They're convenient. You can
There you
throw them
go.
in your purse, whatever. And this is something that I use, Dr. Wallach, even when I'm going out to eat. I'll take one of our hydration sticks or a Rebound. I'll mix it in with my water, hot or cold. I have a great drink that I know is benefiting my body, not just the hydration of it. So,
Very good. Thank you for sharing that.
yeah, thank you, Dr. Wallach. Now we do have a couple of hands here, and we have one more question I want to get to really quick here. So, we have a woman, she's 42 years old. She's 5'1", 180 pounds, was diagnosed with lupus last year. And her husband is on with us wanting to know what can they do to help her.
Okay. He's get rid of all the bad foods. She, her husband, the dog, the kids, mother-in-law, everybody in the household's got to be gluten-free. No wheat, bran, oats, no buckwheat, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. Absolutely none of the bad stuff. Okay, no fried foods, no processed meats. And then the whole family's got to eat that way because she'll sneak some or that'll contaminate the food in the refrigerator or on the table or wherever. Okay, there can't be any cross contamination. Okay, then at 180 pounds, okay, I wanted to have 2 Healthy Brain and Heart Packs a month, full dose of everything twice a day. I also want her to have the ultimate, let's see here, Ultimate Daily Classic tablets, Ultimate Daily Classic tablets, a couple of those twice a day. I also wanted to have the, I'd go with the, oh, collagen, glucogel. She's 3 glucogels 3 times a day to rebuild cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, and all that kind of stuff. And it's very important for lupus, things, dealing with that, and also circulation, the kidneys, get rid of the bad stuff. So needs to take the kidneys, the Ultimate Daily Classic, take 3 of those twice a day. And this is going to help the kidneys function better. It's going to help with blood pressure. And they didn't say anything about blood sugar. Does she have prediabetes or diabetes? Did he say anything about that?
Not mentioned in the original part of the question, no.
Okay.
So,
So those, because it might be one of those people who have the metabolic syndrome and the doctors are diagnosing it as lupus. Okay.
right. All right. Thank you so much for that, Dr. Wallach. And AJ just sent me a reminder asking a question. Did Doc mention what products for mom and baby that they need from seed to newborn? So, Dr. Wallach, what are we looking at as far as a program for those not just already pregnant, but at least what, 3 months prior to thinking about becoming pregnant?
Well, I like to think that babies are going to get everything they need for 6 months before they're conceived, before the sperm makes the egg happy and starts a baby. The mother needs to be on these 90 essential nutrients for at least 4 to 6 months before the baby's conceived, all through the pregnancy. When the baby's born, it's 9 months old, had 9 months of development. And if there's anything missing, there's going to be a birth defect. Was that genetic? No. 9 months, the baby's 9 months old when it's born. Your birth date is your birth date. It's not how old you are.
Right.
People
So,
get that all mixed up. They think you're not, you don't have any, time on the track until you're born. No, the time on the track is 6 months before you're conceived. Mama's got to have everything she needs to make healthy eggs. Daddy's got to have everything he needs to make healthy sperm. And then once the sperm fertilizes the egg, then the mama's got to stay on those 90 essential nutrients, forever, because then
and
she's
what
got
would
to
be
breastfeed the baby.
what we have hands up, and I want to try to get to some of those hands, but what would you have as a protocol for a couple who are looking at starting a family or continuing a family?
Okay, well, they need to get on the 90 essential nutrients, get off all the bad foods, right? And then take the, let's see here, get rid of all the bad foods, but also they need the 90 essential nutrients, but they also need to take things like Rebound instead of Coca-Cola, right? Just get rid of the bad foods, get rid of any carbonated drinks. Even the diet ones got to go because the carbonation is bad, the sugar is bad. And um, the mama needs to be doing that stuff before
So would
she's
that be the
conceived.
Healthy Brain and Heart pack or the Healthy Body Start pack? Which longevity has both packs that have the 90 essential nutrients, which are the core, the
Yeah.
foundation.
Okay. The Healthy Brain and Heart Pack has a broader base, okay, of supplying those nutrients. The Healthy Start Pack was our beginning multiple, and I made the glucogel for it and turned it into the Healthy Bone and Joint Pack for Theo Ratliff. Okay, and helped him rebuild his joints and bones and knees and hips and so forth. He came back and played for another 9 years, made $100 million because I rebuilt him, and they wanted to take his position away from him because he had joint problems. Okay, so these nutrients do wondrous things, and that's why we write so many books. We have our 45th, not 40, 25th book coming out here. Okay,
Yeah.
the metabolic syndrome, which afflicts 34% of Americans. adults. 34% of American adults have the metabolic syndrome. So that's pretty scary. Okay, we're talking about a third. In China, it's over 42% have the metabolic syndrome. Okay, so we're talking about a huge, huge afflicted population here. And if they just keep doing what they're doing, a great number of the babies wind up with problems because the mother couldn't get everything she needed to support the growth and development, or that 9 months the baby's in the uterus developing. Life doesn't start when the baby's born. Life
Right.
starts 6 months before conception.
So just for clarity, we're looking at the healthy body start pack minimum, brain and heart pack even better for mom and dad, starting 6 months prior to looking at consumption.
That's correct.
And the I-26, Dr. Wallach, is going to help with the digestive system. It's going to help with the cholesterol, which the cholesterol is needed for proper brain function, not only for mom and dad who are breathing air, but for that little baby that's growing inside. And with that, the brain and heart pack, you've got that additional nutrients that are part of some of the things that you sued the FDA for so many years ago to get added into baby formula to prevent sudden infant crib death.
We got
So,
rid of cystic fibrosis
and
and
yep,
muscular dystrophy and SID, sediment death syndrome. I'm the guy that got rid of all three of those by forcing the FDA to insist that these nutrients be put into baby formulas.
and the prenatal vitamins is one of them, another one, Dr. Wallach.
Mm-hmm.
That was part of that. So, yeah, you have done a lot, Dr. Wallach, to help to improve humanity and the health of humanity. But if people don't take information or
And
don't
apply
hear
it.
the
Better to
information
apply it.
and apply it, then we're still going to be continuing to go in this downward spiral, Dr. Wallach. So, Doc, let's go up to TC. Man, we've got 6 hands up, but
Okay, we got
I
four
know that
minutes left.
you've got 4 minutes. So, TC, do you have a quick little question for Dr. Wallach?
Yes, I called you before and talked about my mother, who's 94 years old, and you had her on Rebound and the bone and joint pack. She has osteoporosis and she had a blood clot, uh, and also the Ultimate Daily Classic tablet and the vitamin D3. Now, I had a question about. I want to ask about. She's on amlodipine, which I understand blocks calcium from the artery cells, but it does not block calcium from the other cells. So the calcium will still be able to get into the bones.
I can't answer that. I had to do some research on it. I'm not familiar with that drug.
Yeah, well, I mean, I read about that, but the one question, I think I have that answered, but the question I have is about the vitamin D, because she's on metoprolol, which slows down the heart rate. And I know that vitamin D also improves heart function and heart rhythm and strengthens the heart muscle. So would the vitamin D and the drug kind of work against each other? Could it cause a fibrillation or a fluttering?
Well, you want to make sure that she's not taking them all at the same time.
Okay.
If she wants to take all those drugs,
Well, she takes the
take them.
drug.
She can't take them at the same time she's taking the nutrients.
Okay, so if she takes them like at 8 a.m. And then takes the nutrients later on in the
That's
day.
correct.
Okay.
Take the medication at 8 a.m. and then take her nutrients at noon and at 6 o'clock.
Okay. All right. So then that would not cause that problem.
Well, I don't know. I'm just that's what I would do.
Okay. Okay. Because that's why I was concerned if it was going to cause any kind of a fluttering in the heart. All right.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah. You know, when you've got three things going on and you're throwing stuff at it from all the different directions, um, the nutrients and the drugs interfere with each other. Different drugs interfere with other drugs.
Yeah.
Okay. And so this is one of those things where you begin to complicate things when you're taking drugs and vitamins and minerals at the same time.
I know they're not going to take her off the drugs anytime soon, but I think if she takes the EFAs, and I know the vitamin D is also anti-inflammatory, eventually
But
the
93 years old, she's going to fall and fracture a hip or something and die from a blood clot following a fracture of the hip because she fell because she didn't have any vitamin D3. unless she lives in Florida and she wears a bikini and out in the sun for 3 hours a day.
I'm figuring that the inflammation will go away, reduce eventually, and then they can take her off the drugs.
Well, we'll keep our fingers crossed.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, TC.
Thank you.
And I just want to do a shout out for Pharmacist Ben and AJ. Coach AJ did a Pharmacist Bites, specifically talking about pharmaceuticals and how they affect the body's ability to absorb nutrition, which is criminal in itself, Dr. Wallach.
Yes.
It's crazy. Do you have time for another question, Dr. Wallach?
One more. This has got to be a short one.
All right, Jane, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Yes, I'm taking all the things that Dr. Wallach has recommended. I want to show you my arm. And can you
Oh,
see that?
Is it
have you been
bruised?
scratching yourself and bruising easily?
No, it's not bruised. I think it's a vitamin, and I have problems. I'm still taking physical therapy. I still don't walk straight. I'm bent over. So I'm taking all the main vitamins, including the I-26 has been very helpful. But this is like a month gone. And I wonder, do you recognize? I think this is, I'm getting some more. I think it's a vitamin C.
It looks like people are grabbing you and putting you on the treatment table. Because it's in the same place on their arms as people would grab you to help you get on the table.
No, it just appeared. It's much lighter than it was. They kind of came out very dark about a month ago, and it's slowly gotten, as I say, I think I'm getting more vitamin C. I'm already taking 10 grams. So I just wondered if you recognize anything like that.
Stop. Are you taking the 90 essential nutrients?
Yes, and the collagen peptides, the glucogel, sweeties, enzymes.
Okay, let's go another week or two and then call us back.
Okay. Are you on blood thinners, Jane?
No, I never started, and that's what my last call was about. I did start the vitamin D. I think I feel a little stronger with the vitamin D, although my face is broken out. But and I almost think the tinnitus got a little louder. But I started the vitamin.
Stop there! You gave it away now. When you have tinnitus, ringing in the ears, you have osteoporosis of the skull. You have osteoporosis of the skull. You have balance problems?
Somewhat, yes.
Yes, yeah. Okay, yeah. You got osteoporosis of the skull, squeezing the 12 pairs of cranial nerves in your spinal cord. That's what's happening here. And so you have osteoporosis of the skull. And so if you don't have the book, It's All in Your Head, you need to get the book, It's All in Your Head. It'll go through and it'll answer that question for you. But you need all the 90 essential nutrients. You need the collagen, the glucogel, 3 of those twice a day. Okay. It wouldn't hurt to take the hair, skin, and nails. Go ahead and take 3 of those twice a day. Good. Okay. And, but at any rate, this is, what should I say? You're 93 years old?
82.
82. Well, I'm 3 years older than you. So you catch up with me. Okay.
All right. Thank you so much, Jane.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Dr. Wallach, we are 2 minutes after the hour. Thank you so much for being here with us today and talking about how we can have healthier families and also how to respond when, things happen at birth or during development that, we get to the point where we just want to be able to support them where they're at so that they can have the best possible outcome each and every moment as possible. So thank you, Dr. Wallach. I appreciate you. Sorry for those that we did not get hands to. So if you've got my number, please reach out to me. We'll get answers for you. Right, Michelle? If I could get my team up on the screen with me, I could not do this without them as we are getting information available available to people on so many different platforms, whether it's through the computer, a smartphone, the TV. We are making sure that this message is available far and wide. So as let's see. Okay, so TC has a question about the event that we did on May 4th in Newark, wanting to know when it is going to be available and online. And it is available online. My team doesn't listen very well. If I could get my team on the screen with me, please. But that is available, TC, on the daily. If you type daily with Doc and then Newark, you should be able to find that, even if it comes up with going to our Vimeo account, where we house a lot of our videos. So we're going to be getting that on Critical Health News shortly, and Rumble, right, AJ? Okay, I got a thumbs up from the man. So thank you so much for that question, TC, as May 4th was an amazing special event that we had where pharmacist Ben Fuchs joined us, Paul Croto joined us. I was there in Newark, 3,000 miles away, and just had a great time being able to share the message with even more people. So thank you, AJ, for hosting that. And folks, AJ is helping get things on the different platforms. Sherry is helping with the setup. Marilyn and Phyllis are doing such a fabulous job in sharing information in the chats here on the Zoom, which that's one of the best parts of being live with us, is you're able to see that chat. You can take that information, do a screenshot, take a picture of it with your camera, and take it to the person that shared this program with you. If there is no one to thank and you've never spoken to anybody about longevity or the products, we do have a call team standing by to help you as well at 855-949-3377. And many of the people that are on the screen with us are part of that team. So if you have somebody specific that you want to work with, you can go ahead and share that as well. Now, I do want to do shout outs to all of our listeners out on Rumble and YouTube. But before I do that, I've got to finish over here. Does anybody say ADD, ADHD? Hey, some of the most productive people in the world have been diagnosed with something like that, just like a Dr. Wallach. There we go. So I'm in good company. And we have Albert way down in South Africa helping to let people in to the Zoom room so that they can hear the message as well. And each and every one of these people are helping to field those questions and get them so that we can ask, or at least have them for afterwards, and we can use on another program as well. If we did not get to your question, feel free to email us at questions@dailywithdoc.com. That's questions, the @ dailywithdoc.com, and we'll make sure that we get your questions answered as well. Now, if you're interested in becoming part of the team, get with the person again that shared this program with you, because they are your first point of contact. If you've never spoken to anybody and you would like more information about how you can get a thank you check for helping others and yourself get healthier and find a better health journey, use that info@dailywithdoc.com. That's info@dailywithdoc.com. We'll make sure that we get you information so that you can make a well-informed decision on whether or not you truly want to be part of the solution when it comes to the downward spiral that the world is having when it comes to being able to thrive, because we're just barely surviving, folks. My name is Becca Dukes. Thank you so much. We've got people who are consistently here with us in the Zoom. We have people who are consistently out on the different platforms. We appreciate each and every one of you. And we have some of the smartest people in the world in our viewership. Rosemary here in YouTube, sorry, in Facebook, says that nutrition can be given as a wedding gift, a great wedding gift. Anne is recommending the next book being about starting a family, Dr. Wallach, and having that as a wedding gift.
Okay, we'll do
So
it.
you guys are putting more work on my plate. But hey, we've got many years, Dr. Wallach, and many more people to help. And that's what this is all about. Making sure that people have information that they need in order to have thriving families around the world. We have no walls, we have no borders. In the areas that longevity does not ship directly to, we have creative ways to get it to you. So get back at the person that shared this program with you. For the good foods, bad foods list that Dr. Wallach mentioned, we have that on our website, dailywithdoc.com. Right there in the menu, 10 bad foods. Click it, print it, save it on your phone, take it with you when you go grocery shopping. If it's on the bad food side, don't even look in that section. Skip past it, don't let it hit the grocery cart. If it's on the good food side, focus on that. And I am working on also a program, a clean keto, where we're reducing those carbohydrates, we're putting in those good fats, those good proteins, and using the good foods, bad foods list as part of that focus in making sure that we have a clean way of eating when we're looking to reduce weight, eliminate metabolic syndrome, and eliminate all of the different system conditions that can be associated with that and eating those bad foods. So folks, thank you again so much for joining us. As you know, as you can tell, we've got a lot of things going on. So if you have skills that you would like to contribute to the team to make mini hands so there's light work, raise your hand and reach out through info@dailywithdoc.com or give us a call, 855-949-3377. So until next time, thank you so much for joining us. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.
This program is for educational purposes only. The content is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases, nor is it intended to take the place of your primary care physician. The statements in this program have not been evaluated by the FDA. Testimonials are shared as individual experiences of the individual. Results vary and may not be typical. We do not make any claims regarding health or income. As an empowered individual, you have options available. We are honored to have a founding father of the science of epigenetics guiding us with the best options to obtain or maintain optimal health, Dr. Joel Wallach. educational purposes only. The content is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases, nor is it intended to take the place of your primary care physician. The statements in this program have not been evaluated by the FDA. Testimonials are shared as individual experiences of the individual. Results vary and may not be typical. We do not make any claims regarding health or income. As an empowered individual, you have options available. We are honored to have a founding father of the science of epigenetics guiding us with the best options to obtain or maintain optimal health, Dr. Joel Wallach. This program is for educational purposes only. The content is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases, nor is it intended to take the place of your primary care physician. The statements in this program have not been evaluated by the FDA. Testimonials are shared as individual experiences of the individual. Results vary and may not be typical. We do not make any claims regarding health or income. As an empowered individual, you have options available. We are honored to have a founding father of the science of epigenetics guiding us with the best options to obtain or maintain optimal